Hello, everyone.
Hello there.
Hello there. Good evening. How's everybody doing this evening? How's everyone doing? Doing all right? That doesn't sound so enthusiastic. Come on. Doing all right? Well, it's great to have you here today. I'm Father Bob Dowd. I'm the director of the Ford Family Program in Human Development Studies and Solidarity. And welcome to our discussions on development tonight. Tonight we're going to hear about community engagement projects that the Ford Family Program is engaged in, together with partners in Uganda and in Kenya. And we're really privileged to have those responsible for those programs here with us today. Many of you may know that the Ford Family Program in Human Development Studies and Solidarity is part of the Kellogg Institute for International Studies. And the mission of the Ford program is to integrate teaching, research, and grassroots community engagement. Among other things, we've launched a minor in International Development Studies. Maybe we have some students who are in our minor with us here tonight. That's an interdisciplinary minor in International Development Studies. So we have students who are majoring in various disciplines, and it's really a great effort that has been launched here at Notre Dame, and we're proud to be part of it. But we also try to link research and grassroots community engagement. And a lot of development, quote-unquote development work in various parts of the world has really been work that has been imposed in many ways by outsiders. It hasn't really engaged the communities that are supposed to be the quote-unquote beneficiaries. What we're trying to do is to do development in a very different way. What we try to do is engage local communities and facilitate a process by which they come to be owners of any projects that are launched. We intend to do demand-driven research. We want to make sure that any research that we do somehow addresses a problem that has been identified by people themselves and communities. And we want to partner with local institutions wherever we go. This is not about Notre Dame swooping in and swooping out. It's about Notre Dame partnering with local institutions and with local communities and working together with them, learning from them, and contributing to projects that hopefully make a difference, very positive difference in people's lives. So we try to learn and at the same time serve. We try to link our research to efforts to make positive change at the grassroots level. And tonight we have, as I mentioned, 3 people who are working very closely on these projects in Uganda and Kenya. And first of all, with us we have Dorrin Wagithi. And Dorrin is from Kenya, and she is a lawyer and an advocate for the High Court of Kenya, a member of the Law Society of Kenya, and she's been involved in human rights, the fight for human rights in Kenya for a long time. She worked at Christ the King Parish in Kibera, often called Sub-Saharan Africa's largest slum, and she worked there as a program officer in the Human Rights Office at the Catholic parish called Christ the King. Currently, Dorrin is the program officer, community outreach officer in our Law and Human Development project that is based in Dandora. And we'll hear more about that in just a few minutes. So, Dorrin, we're really glad that you're here with us. Thanks. Karibu sana. And also with us here is Apolo Kasharu. And Apolo is right now coordinating the University Partnership for Research and Outreach Development based in Nnindye. So he's leading our project in Nnindye. And he has a ton of experience. He has a PhD in agricultural economics from the University of Hohenheim in Stuttgart, Germany. Before that, he attended Makerere University in Uganda. He worked at the National Agricultural Research Organization as a research assistant. And he has worked on the Millennium Villages project that some of you may have heard about in Uganda, in Ruhira, in western Uganda. So Apolo brings a wealth of experience and real solid dedication to our project in Nnindye. So thank you, Apolo, for being here today. Welcome. And Juliet Nambuubi. Juliet holds a master's degree in development studies from Uganda Martyrs University. And before that, she got her bachelor's degree from Makerere University in Uganda. Juliet is the community outreach officer under the Outreach Directorate at Uganda Martyrs University. In this position, she's responsible for community mobilization. She's played a key role in mobilizing the community in Nnindye, and she has been working in Nnindye for some time. I've been in Nnindye quite a bit over the last several years, together with Juliet and others, and I'm always impressed by how highly people in Nnindye think of Juliet. They can tell that she cares about them, that she is one with them, and that she has a great deal of knowledge to share with them. So Juliet, we're really glad that you're here with us to share about the work going on in Nnindye. So I believe, I'm not sure who's going to begin. It looks like Apolo is going to begin. And so Apolo, Juliet, and Dorrin will speak for about 40 minutes or so, maybe total. And then we'll open it up for questions and any comments. So please join me in welcoming these three great colleagues of ours.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As they have said, I'm Apolo. I'd like to share with you the few things we've done in Nnindye, which we are contributing to improving livelihood of these people, of our communities, and how we are working to unlock the potential of these people in improving their livelihood. I had the program Upford, which I've put there, and this one is a manifestation of what a partnership can do to change what's already on the ground. We work with Uganda Martyrs University, University of Notre Dame, and of course, the community of Nnindye Parish. At Uganda Martyrs University, we have 3 areas which I emphasize. We teach, we do research, we learn, but these things we do at Uganda Martyrs University would be very meaningless if they are not of any relevance to the community in which we work. So we have an outreach program which is an intermediary between what the community wants and what the solutions that would help us to influence the community. Because the community has a lot of expectations. They want to influence, they want respect, they expect we share with them knowledge, they expect to succeed in what they are doing. So the university must contribute something to do this. And for the university to work, the outreach program, we have 3 areas. We have Upford. This is the program which I'm heading and I'm going to be talking about. This one, we have what we call Equator Valley Farm, which I'm not going to talk about. Maybe another occasion will appear when we will do that. But we also have another general program for the university called Uganda Martyrs Community Outreach Program, which is much bigger than the Upford. Through community engagements, we've had a lot of experience with our community, and they decided if anything is to happen, it must occur in these 4 areas. So they selected health, they selected agriculture, they selected water and sanitation, they selected education, and community empowerment. Community empowerment, they never selected it. But we realize we will not achieve anything unless the community has the ability to participate and drive these activities. So what have we done so far? Many of these 4 areas, we have not completed all of them. Some we have taken big strides, others we are still ongoing. But we have to recognize what we've done so far. The faculty at Uganda Martyrs University, the big number of staff have participated in one way or the other. We have also had student interns from the University of Notre Dame who have been also helping us in understanding some of the key areas. I will elaborate on them as we move forward. So, because of the other areas, there are some community-driven goals we came up with. One of them was to improve the quality of access to health services. Those of you who have had a chance to visit Nnindye, the health situation is appalling, and we realize there needs some interventions. What have we done so far? I want to highlight what we've done since this project has been ongoing for some time. We've done an assessment of the community perceptions, expectations, and current practices done by the village health teams. These are the key drivers at the local village level who perform most of the healthcare delivery services. Currently, we are working on a plan to enhance the village health team according to the needs of the community. So we have done the needs assessment and we are about to embark on the findings of this. With regard to water and sanitation, which was a very, very key area, we have done a detailed survey, but it was not conclusive. There are some aspects we felt the people we engaged couldn't complete, so that's why we say this is still going on. Nonetheless, we have a system in place working with the communities of how, if this water system comes in place, how will it be maintained, how will it be sustained. So currently we are already understanding that the community is willing to contribute available materials, they are willing to provide labor, they are willing also to provide food for the people who will be working with us. So we see a very, very positive thing, but we are still engaged. We are yet to come with a proper plan, but we are seeing positive things in this direction. As regards to agriculture, which is key, 90% of the people in these communities practice agriculture. And perhaps many of you may have heard what they call cooking bananas. You know other types of bananas, but this is a different type of banana which they cook and eat. So it's a key crop. So without this crop, actually we call it food. If it's not there, there is no food. So the community developed a goal of improving food security, but it is also a very big source of income. So some activities have taken place, and we are very proud to talk about it because we've been able to work with the communities in setting up these banana plantations, and we have 12 in number, but the issue to talk about here is not the 12 we started with, but the rate at which we are expanding. So far, 103 farmers this last quarter attended and got knowledge in proper management of these plants. Because of this we've rolled out a program for controlling a very serious disease called bacterial banana wilt, which is BBW. And also, banana is a good crop. Once you plant, you can get planting material and multiply. So we have already established with partners some 6 new banana plants. One of them is being taken up by the local parish in the area, and over 2,000 banana suckers have also been given out to farmers, which translates into more 5 acres. 5 acres doesn't look a very big thing, but to an area where it was not there, it's so big. Everybody is excited about this one. And equally at the university and in the community, we are also very happy about it because we see something positive happening. Again, on agriculture, people want improved nutrition and incomes. One of the other short-term crop we can think of, we are growing improved beans. So we have already established 5 acres of demonstrations, but we delivered over 2,000 kilograms of improved seeds to the community members. They are growing them, and we are at harvest time as I'm talking to you now. Equally, food security is another concern. Some of the things are short-term, like maize can grow twice in a year, so we have established maize gardens, and we supported households with over 1,200 kilograms. We supported households with over this, which benefited around 52 farmers. On the side of education, this is another activity that has required us more interventions, but we've done something. We have not moved so fast as much as we would have loved, but still there are some elements we've started. Through talking with communities, we realized food is one of the elements why children drop out of school. If there is no incentive for them to stay at school, they prefer to go away or go and do other things and play outside there. So we've already started dialogue on school feeding program with school authorities, with management committees, with the village committees. Everybody seems to be in favor of starting this program. Before we roll out that big program to involve everybody in the community, we started with the schools, what they can manage. So far, we've worked with 15 schools and we established some school gardens. One as learning centers for children to appreciate that food is not got from a supermarket, but from a garden, and it can be sustainable. 2, that agriculture is not a punishment, but can be a source of income and a source of food. Then we have, in this process, engaged teachers, we engaged all people concerned, and we have also trained them on how to prepare good meals, the cooking demos. We've also, as we work all these things, we've not them done alone. There has been so many people who have helped us. We really would be very selfish if we don't mention the good work that has been done by students and the faculty members. So we have supported students with placements, both from Uganda Martyrs University and Nnindye. We have also attached students to faculty members who would guide them on especially the foreign students, on local things and what to do. So I'm very proud to mention to you that over 20 Notre Dame students have been involved in this activity, and we are very, very extremely happy because they have been very instrumental in helping us understand some of the pertinent issues in the community. I will mention one of them. Last summer, a student by names of Curtis, he did for us a very good compilation of informal organizations which have been in existence for over 20 years. And we are using them to now think of how do we work. Instead of only working with individuals, can we work with groups? And these are existing groups. There's nothing new about them, but we find them very enthusiastic to work with us in promoting some of the agriculture-related things. We have also influenced the actually interested because of the good work that is existing in the place. Other universities in Uganda, especially Makerere and Dandora University, these are public universities. They have taken interest and they are sending their students to do internship with us. And on this note, I want to mention that we are so happy because the community is very receptive of our engagement with them. Like, we don't care. Recently, the National Liberation celebrations were to be held in our district. They selected Nnindye to host these ones because Nnindye is no longer a small thing. Because of these interventions, the bananas, everyone wants to associate with Nnindye. So the community is so happy in that because there is something to talk about Nnindye, and everybody you meet, you talk to is very happy about it. I've talked about only good things. Equally, we've had a bit of challenges here and there, and I will mention a few of them. We find the people we work with, they want short-term benefits, they make sense, than waiting for 10 years, 8 years, 3 years. But because we are in some areas scoring so well, we are getting a lot of more cooperation from the community members because they see in the long run everybody is going to benefit. Related to that, there are low levels of group work and mistrust, and indeed this one is okay because people want to get benefits for their families, for themselves, not for the village. They would rather first have them for themselves than have it for the whole community. But we are working around because we see more of group work taking root. I wanted to mention that number 3, that is the biggest challenge we are facing, and maybe all these other challenges come about because of this. Because we are working on a community-driven process, the process is painstakingly very, very slow. You have to plant before you get what you harvest. So it is taking so long. We have sometimes to work with people who are questioning. We are doing all this. What do I have for my family? What do I have to take out? The process is slow, but I like it for one thing. This one I'm not trying to talk about it. At first, everybody is skeptical, but because you take slowly, you go learning together. When it comes to harvesting the fruits of all the benefits, they see them. Actually, we are so happy, as Juliet we mentioned to you, they even never remember that they were complaining about this. They are so happy about the good outcome. So being slow has some good advantages. We don't get lost, they don't get lost. We move together along the way, and we like it that way. And lastly, there are low levels of literacy. This hampers some of the activities we would have done faster. So there are some also challenges. Maybe I need to mention to them. These are not only related to community, but also for us at the University of Uganda Martyrs. We find there has to be some trade-offs for staff. They are evaluated on how much you've delivered in terms of lectures and the class, as compared to how much you are engaged in the community work. Uganda Martyrs is also a very young university, and there are really very few innovations and technologies we could talk of, but we are still moving in the right direction because we see efforts and interest for people to move there. Another element, because we are working on different sectors, some faculties at Uganda Martyrs have interesting students. They have in-service students who are back in their workplace. They only come to the university to do what we call face-to-face. So you can't have them all the time. You want them to engage them in these communities. But we are lucky. There are some courses that are available throughout the year. And finally, we have low levels of resources. This one, we talk of funds. This is an economic issue. We don't have all the money we would need, but also the manpower is also we are a very small group of 4 people, yet we would love to be around 8, so that's how we are moving. Where do you see you can join us to move this good work on behalf of Nnindye ahead? That's the question I would ask for you. If you are ready, we are ready. Thank you for listening to me.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Okay. I would like to take on from Apolo. He has given us what we have right now achieved since we started Upford. He has gone through the different achievements and finally the challenges facing the project. But I would like to come in and say, much as there are challenges, we have been able to achieve something so far, but how have we been able to achieve what we have to present to you today? First of all, some of you may be aware the program started, I think, 4 years back, in 2008. But it took us almost 2 years. 2 years of community engagement, 2 years of community mobilization. And the purpose of this, as you may see, one of them is to ensure community ownership of the project. At one time, the communities thought maybe we will not do anything. because the meetings were overwhelming. Today we're in a meeting on agriculture, the following day we were a planning meeting, so they thought maybe these people are just playing on our minds, on our heads. But we had to keep explaining to them why we are doing this. And I tell you, now they are appreciating. Apolo mentioned that the process is slow, but now they say, yes, at least we are happy that we took a slow pace on this. That mainly is on the fruits now they see with the bananas, because they thought maybe if we had rushed into things, we would not be seeing what we see now. Secondly, the community mobilization of making it ready for the project was to help it realize that the community itself has the lead role in this initiative, that they should not sit back and leave the supporting partners do the work. We enforced discussions that much as you have problems and there are people willing to help you, but you play the lead role. And in this way, they are actually coming up. When it comes to planning, they say we want to do this. Much as we would like to have, say, water sources constructed, but we want boreholes, and on the boreholes, we shall be able to do this. In that case, you see that they are coming up to be active, to know that the role is really theirs. We are also emphasizing that the two supporting universities, Uganda Martyrs University and Notre Dame, are just supporting the process improving their livelihoods and attaining sustainable development. The second thing which has really helped us reach where we are right now is valuing the issue of partnership. This goes back to what I mentioned earlier, that the community to know that it is not to sit back and wait, but it is a partner. Actually, we call the project itself is university partnership. So we are 3 partners, and each partner has a role to play, and that role we ensure that is respected, and it's really helping us. 3, the process we are using, the community-driven approach, is really helping us, one, to own the project, and also to involve the community. We have really made sure that we involve the community at every stage. And in the initiation stages, where we did the baseline survey, the community participated. When it came to planning, what interventions should we take, should we carry on, we really ensured that they participate. We also ensure that we give feedback at whatever stage we reach. The baseline, we give back the baseline results. When the plans is done and we come up to something concrete we are going to do, we go back to them that this is what we have agreed to work on. Who is going to do what and when. These that just show the different meetings we've had with them during planning and other interactive activities. 4th, one other thing which has really helped us is the committed leadership we have in the community. Much as there are shortfalls with them, but they are really doing a great job. These people are volunteers. We don't pay them, but they really, really help us to reach out to the communities. For meetings, they are the ones, for us, we just say, oh, maybe there is a meeting for education committees, and these leaders are the ones who go and mobilize their members. If it is a training, or if we have visitors, as we normally do, and they would need to meet people in the community, it is those leaders will go through. So they are really, really helping us. And we have the leadership at different levels. We have at the village level, we have at the parish level, and then the overall leadership, which is the highest stream, we would call it stream body, which influences decisions taken for any implementation. These photos just show the different, actually this is the parish development committee during some of their monthly meetings. They hold meetings monthly. And lastly, from the beginning, we clearly defined the different roles each partner. Since we are partners, 3 partners, it was from the beginning that we clearly stated established each partner's role. And in this, the community itself, the role it has in this process, they all, for example, if for the gardens, banana gardens, they played the role of clearing the land where to establish the gardens. They are the ones maintaining the gardens. And when it came to multiplication of gardens, as Apolo was mentioning, of over 1,000 plantlets given out, it is these community members who are following up, who is taking the banana plantlets. How ready are they? If someone is not ready, you're not supposed to take. So you find that because this was clearly stated in the beginning that the management and the overall overseeing of the running of the banana plantations is upon the community, so they know it's their role and they are really taking it on seriously. Secondly, the issue of research, how it comes in, it relates with the community engagement. They know that, they know that sometimes, for example, get students interns. The community knows how it is going to benefit from this, because most of the researchers have really helped inform the different activities and implementations. For example, we have one student, Sean. I think he worked very much on the agriculture sector, and it really informed the decisions of the community as regards the banana plantations. So in that case, they now see the role of research and the interns. So when the interns come, now we take them to the community, just introduce them to the community and give them the program. The rest is managed by the community. When it needs, the students say need to meet some group members in the community, they need to visit schools, taking them around, it is the community members. So we have been able to achieve what we have so far because of those 5 key elements. And thank you very much for listening.
I guess I'm a bit disadvantaged because a lot of your attention has been directed towards them. So I probably would have, I will try to be as interesting as possible to make sure that I still have your attention. Yeah, okay. So I think just to mention a little bit of the presentation, what impresses me, and probably will impress or has impressed you, is how they have continuously engaged the community. And a lot of activities, well, a lot of projects that have been directed to the community often fail because there's not been that process of engaging the community from the beginning. And most people preempt or assume they know what the problems in the community are. So I'm quite inspired, and I think we borrowed heavily from the Ugandan project on how the grassroots approach has impacted positively on their work. Like Father Bob said, my names are Dorrin Wagithi. You probably remember Dorrin, but unless you work in Africa like Raul and Mude and Father Bob and Lacey, I don't expect you to remember the other two names. So I'm a community outreach officer. My work centers mainly on involving and engaging the community. And I work for Dandora Law and Human Development Project. It's a project that came about from partnership through the Notre Dame and Holy Cross parish that is found within Dandora. Dandora is located in the capital city of Kenya, known as Nairobi, in the eastern part of Nairobi. And it's densely populated, characterized by mixed housing. So you'll find the extreme poor living in Dandora, as well as the middle income earners. So there is quite extreme cases of poverty and people who are well-to-do. So it's quite an interesting setup, and it's an urban setup. So you will not see any banana plantation here. There is just no space. We'd probably love to do it, but we cannot do that. So at least the Notre Dame project, you get the rural approach and you get the urban feel of it as well. And like I said, Notre Dame partnered with Holy Cross Parish that is located in Dandora. So our office is in the heart of Dandora, which is exciting because the community members feel, okay, these people are part of us. And they have welcomed us, and we also ride on the goodwill of the parish because the Holy Cross Parish has done a tremendous job. And like I said, Dandora is a mixture of extreme poor and the lower middle class. And most residents, because there are no high rates of job opportunities in Kenya overall, it's not isolated to Dandora. Most residents have tried to earn their income through small-scale businesses. I have had the chance to travel through the states in Seattle and here, and it's not common to find small-scale businesses along the streets, but it's something that you find. I hope, as much as I'm walking away from the microphone, the people at the far back can hear me. Raul, you can hear me well? Yeah, all right. So it's a pretty common trend, and this is how most people try to earn income through selling of second-hand clothing, and for those who travel in Africa, it's quite a common thing that happens. It's densely populated, and the positive side of that is that it creates a market of demand, supply, demand of goods, and so these business, small business scales really thrive a lot. The negative part of that is that people are competing for space. People are competing for survival. So there are not enough job opportunities. And as we go along, we'll see some of the challenges that we have experienced or we have discovered during our research. Some of these photos demonstrate, like you can see some apartments that have been built there. So you can see these people are in extreme poverty. But then again, that's a relative term, because basing it on the US economy, you might say, that's not very good. But when you compare to what we find here, this is now a typical slum in Dandora. You can see this is, even by Dandora standards, this is poor. So it's quite a mixed community. Right, so Dandora Law and Human Development Project, and I put it in short, DLHDP, did research through the Sustainable Livelihood setup. And we narrowed it down to monthly dialogues, focus group discussions, and individual interviews, where we're engaging the community and asking them, what are the problems you go through on a day-to-day life? And how are these problems affecting or hindering your progress? And what is there to be celebrated? And what is there to be improved? And as you can see, this setup tries to tease out all issues cutting across, be it human capital, natural capital, financial capital, physical capital, and I'm making reference to this part. And it was quite exciting. And as much as this approach was based on the rural areas, it did apply in the urban settlement, because at the end of the day, human needs are the same, whether you're in the rural area or whether in the urban area. Some of the things and some of the needs, the basic needs, the housing, the clothing, education, good health systems, good food, will cut across. So we found this process was quite helpful. And as we went along, some of the key emerging issues were unemployment, especially amongst the youth. And the youth, in this case, will rank between ages 18 years to 35 years. So we found that the youths were the most affected when it came to employment. They did not get employed. And this did not matter whether they were well educated or they were not educated, were school dropouts, or they went all the way to the expected standards of the university. They didn't get jobs. And we still, of course, we have those people who have found jobs and still living in Dandora, but on a large scale, unemployment was a key issue. Number two, insecurity. Yeah. Insecurity was another emerging issue. I guess because people don't have money to survive. And if they see somebody else who has money, and they can easily probably take their phones, like he has put his phone down there, you can magically disappear and I make money out of it, why not, you know? Sometimes desperate situations can push you to desperate measures. And not that I'm condoning it. No, by no means. I'm just saying that some young men are reduced to such measures. Corruption, especially amongst those people entrusted with the public offices, was key. The policemen did not act when they were supposed to act. The chiefs who play a key role in Dandora were equally corrupt. They did not do what was expected of them. The dam site is also a key issue, and I'll speak a little bit more about that because it's at the top of the problems faced by residents of Dandora. Health, you find that people did not have access to good health. They did not have medicine, even for the simplest of diseases. Civic education. Kenya is at a very interesting stage right now because we got our new constitution last year, August. And it's introduced a lot of new things, which the people, and not just in Dandora, Kenyans are not aware of. We are in the election year right now, and people don't know what is expected of them, what their civic duty is. So it's an inevitability that civic education has to be incorporated moving forward. Now, like I said, I would discuss a little bit about the dam site. Research shows it's one of the largest dams in Africa. And its presence in Dandora has caused a lot of health problems. And not enough research has been done to indicate the implications, short-term and long-term implication of that. In fact, it's just the UN that carried out quite a shallow report indicating what this dam site or this dam is doing, or the negative impact of it in Dandora. And yet it's in the heart of it. It's in the heart of Dandora. People live just a few meters from the dam site. Children play along the dam site. And it should have been decommissioned long time ago. But it continues to be unattended, mainly because there's no political will. And again, we have a lot of people earning their income from the dam. About 3,000 people earn their income from the dam site. So it's quite complicated to just come and move it from Dandora and take it to another place, or completely decommission it. Then these people who feel this is their source of livelihood will feel that does not favor them, because where are they going to get their income? And there are no jobs. Again, the laws related to solid waste management in Kenya are pretty bad. I remember this model called Naomi Campbell used to come to Kenya a lot. And at one time, she came like 3-4 years back. And one of the things she said is, she's concerned that every time she comes, there seems to be more waste. The plastic bags, small heaps of garbage coming up, more now than they did a while back, which really speaks volume, because we are supposed to be moving in the right direction, but some of these things are unaddressed. And the key amongst them is the solid waste management. We are still not yet there. We've not even begun to address it. The laws are there, but nobody implements them. Or those who are supposed to implement don't. So you can see that guy right there is one that was who had come visiting the dam, and he came with the Dean of Faculty of Science, Greg Crawford, and we told them, let's just go, you experience some of these challenges that we've been encountering. So they try to put a brave face. They have smiles on. I don't know if they were doing taking photos, but there are quite some good trips. So you can see these are heaps. The picture does not really reveal well, but these are big heaps of garbage. The decommission is long overdue. And so we will see moving forward what should be done to address this problem.
And this is in an urban setting,
yeah,
in the middle of an estate that includes about 200,000 people.
Right.
It's unbelievable. It's
bad. It's bad. And you can see the houses are not, okay, modern technology, good. You can see the houses are not far off from the dam. It's right here, and you can see there are a few people. I think this is great. So like when you get into it, you are hidden. It swallows you up, you know. And sometimes breathing is quite hard. And we have people living there every day. So it's huge. Like I said, it's top on the list. So now, this is a university. What business does it have going to Dandora? What is the role of Notre Dame? I guess a lot of people would ask. I guess it's becoming a catchy phrase, talking about the global village, especially amongst the young people. You cannot live in a box anymore. You cannot be comfortable living in South Bend, going to Notre Dame, getting a good job, be it out of South Bend or in South Bend, and assuming everything is okay. The world is changing. We are living in a global village. Things are moving so fast. Facebook, Twitter, it's introducing us, it's opening us to this new world that we need to tap into. We need to know what is happening in the world out there, because we are no longer in isolation. So it's so exciting what the phone program is doing, taking the classes beyond the rooms and taking them to the community. You're so lucky and I speak to the students directly. And get involved as much as possible, know what is out there, because the world out there is completely different from your world. But at the same time, because like I said, we're human beings, we have so many similarities. They say the more things change, the more they remain the same. But how do we get involved? How do we make sure we are part of the future that the world is becoming? Isn't it? Am I communicating? Yeah? So, excellent. And I guess it's an interesting opportunity, as much as we are working with the world and in the community, doing this community service, it's also important to do some research. A practical example of where we are moving now, or we hope to move now in future with the project, is when the dean came, he told Tony, I think we should do a bit of research and find out what is the impact of the dam site. What is the long-term impact, the short-term impact, be it positive or negative, especially in relation to health? What is it doing to the young children? They say some reports indicate that the lead content of people living around the dam site is way above the accepted standards. So you see, it's some of the exciting areas that we need to tap into and be part of this change that is inevitable. Yeah. And I guess the willingness of the Holy Cross Parish in Dandora made it easier for Nnindye to make entry and do this great work that we are doing. And moving forward, we hope by the month of March, we'll have compiled a narrative report that can be owned by the community and that will help inform the activities that we'll be doing. And that is what we are calling the strategic plan. And above all, I cannot thank Father Bob enough, because what he does or what he's doing, to me, I can describe it as loving the community. You cannot be doing what you're doing. If roles were reversed and I was probably put in a position that he is in now, I would probably be doing what he's doing, which is amazing. Because you must have the love for the community to know, okay, we are going to do some research, but at the same time, let's be part of the process that is finding realistic measures to intervene or to alleviate and mitigate the human suffering that the people are experiencing back in Dandora and back in Uganda. So I cannot thank him enough, and I hope that my talk will inspire the future leaders that we have here to do similar things, and not just come and impose or preempt that you know the problems of the indigenous communities that you go to. Today we were discussing with Tony, and I was telling him, which he shared as much, that it's quite a pity when you go to a place, especially, and I make reference to the Amsterdam airport, and they have these posters of this young African child crying or smiling or whatever, and they are appealing for help. And they assume this child is suffering. And what they don't know is this child is on top of the world. Just because they don't fit into what you think is ideal for you does not mean it's not working for them. And I don't mean in terms of education, I just mean the day-to-day life. Just because they probably don't have the modern gadgets, or they don't have what somebody would consider ideal, does not make them victims to what they'll call dire need of help. I don't know, I hope I'm communicating my point. And if you're in a position, and I speak this, and I'm speaking directly to the students, if you're in a position to do some good work in future, and not just in Africa, Latin America, here in America where you have some poor communities, don't preempt what the problems are. Take time, listen, and then let the community recommend. And along the way, start learning from them. And that is where we are hoping, or that's the direction I know we are going to take. Thank you for listening.
thank you very much. We'll just take some questions. So please raise your hand, and please introduce yourself before your question.
Bob, I'll get it started if you need some.
Sure, sure.
Two quick questions to just the 3,000 people living off the dump. I don't even think I need that. That's not because they're like civil servants trying to remove it.
No.
It means people live looking for rags and food, and so it's become a resource to them and their poverty.
Scavenging through the dam to get...
Okay, I just wanted that clarification because
yeah.
I think that's an image that most of us wouldn't even understand.
Right.
That it has come out in so many poverty analysis in India and some other developing parts of the world.
Right.
As your law project develops through the parish,
yeah.
what kind of a constituency is building? Who's coming forward? Who would not just be the people that are going to that parish, but even in this early phase of your development, who's rallying to say, we're going to be the future, we're coming to your program?
Yeah. Do I take it now or do we?
Why don't you just take that one right now?
Excellent. Now, I think because from the get-go, our research was open to everybody. We targeted the parishioners, we targeted the residents. So the response has been cuts across everybody. Because once we initiated those first contacts, the people were willing. And I think at this point it's important for me to say, Dandora has not received enough attention to some of the problems that it faces. You'll find a lot of people going to Kibera, because it's one of the largest slums in sub-Saharan Africa. You'll find them going to some areas that will be appealing. And hardly will you get enough attention being taken to Dandora, yet they are as deserving, because if you see some of the photos that I showed you, we have a lot of people suffering. And as soon as we told them and expressed interest to work with the community, they were so receptive, and they were so eager, and they were so welcoming. So this is not isolated to parishioners, this is not isolated to residents, it cuts across everybody. Excellent. Does that answer your question?
Please.
All right.
Okay, and I think I saw a hand up somewhere back there. Yes, yes, and so we just need to get that microphone back there. I see.
I think I can just talk.
Yeah, can people hear you? Okay. If you'd introduce yourself to everybody too.
Yeah, my name is Kellogg. I come from Kenya. I've been to Dandora a few times. I'm with the law school, the Center for Civil and Human Rights at the law school. I want to ask something from the Uganda team about, how do you relate to I don't want to say government, but the authorities, the chief, the police, like the government, the arm of the government on the ground. Whatever it is on the ground, to an extent, maybe the politician, the MP of the place. How does your work kind of relate? Do you get a positive? Do you have a positive interaction? Do you not interact with them at all? How does that work?
I actually think the battle.
Okay. Thank you for that question or the observation. Indeed, as Juliet was explaining how we move so far, actually the politicians, local leaders are part and parcel of the process. We have a parish development committee, the one which was showing you here. The way it is composed, all elected leaders at the village level are part of that committee. So by virtue of being elected, you get a position on that one. So we really value their input, because some of the some of the interventions, some of the actions require their input. For instance, when there is a bylaw, the village development committee cannot enforce it. But because we have, alongside the politicians, the local chiefs, if they call a meeting that it is clearing the water point, and you don't come, your absence is taken very seriously, and many people, because of that, they participate. That is one. The second one, if you don't involve politicians, they will start fearing, and they will sabotage and fail the program. We are very happy, like I mentioned, that because they have been part and parcel of the process, they are so happy. Even if we are not there, they still say this is our work. And like I said, Nnindye is no longer Nnindye of some time back. It's a village everybody wants to associate with, including recently the district chairman. When he heard what was going on his own, he went to visit. Because of that, when the issue of the national celebrations for the Liberation Day came up, he had no place elsewhere to take. He said, we take it to Nnindye, because Nnindye is something you can associate with. But we are happy with that, because for us as Uganda Martyrs, we don't need to be there. They are already telling us, and we already see ourselves in newspapers, that the good work that started by Uganda Martyrs and Notre Dame is doing something, because the national things are. So the MPs, the local councils, at different levels are all involved. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Maybe also to add on, when it comes to implementation of different activities, for example, agriculture activities, we work with the sub-county, the local sub-county technical staff. If it is a training, we call upon them, they come and do the training in the communities. If it is a kind of research and it needs support from the local government staff, we work, they are called upon and they come. So we are working hand in hand.
Okay. Other questions? David, if you would introduce yourself.
My name is Father David. I am a Holy Cross priest and I'm from Tanzania. I'm a neighbor of Uganda and Kenya. I've worked in Dandora, so I know the garbage dump. I can smell it. I have lived around there, so I know how it feels. My question again goes to Uganda and maybe to the this Ford program. It's in two ways. I hope that all these projects that are beginning are just maybe kind of to help some other projects to go around somewhere else, because it shouldn't just end in Nnindye or in Dandora. I hope that there are programs that are meant to educate the different societies so that it can spread out. And so as they are saying that maybe they have a staff of only 4 people, I hope maybe at some point the program will grow up to have more staff to be able to spread out around the country. And in saying so, the Holy Cross in East Africa works in Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda, and most of the programs are just in Uganda and Kenya. So I hope, well, that makes me feel very well because it says that Tanzania is doing very well. But it doesn't, so I hope also at some point you'll move to Tanzania.
Thank you. Yeah, the idea here is to begin. We're beginning in Nnindye, we're beginning in Dandora, I mean, so these projects, as far as we're concerned, they represent the beginning. And we want to learn as much as we can from what we're doing in Dandora, what we're doing in Nnindye, together with people there, and take those lessons elsewhere. And so, yeah, we'll hopefully be in Tanzania one of these days and learn something from Tanzanians and contribute something too. Other questions? Yes, Patience.
Patience Kabamba, visiting fellow at Kellogg. It's about Dandora. Can you imagine that you invite somebody from Odinga's office or Kibaki's office, or even University of Nairobi, Department of Environment or Science, to come and visit, so that it will be part of your concern?
Right.
And Kibaki is the president of Kenya, and Raila is the prime minister.
Yeah, that's a good comment. Is it a question or a comment? Okay, it's a good comment. And I think the biggest challenge we have with the politicians, it's not in their interest for the dam to be relocated. They use it as bait to get elected. So the ones that says it will get decommissioned sort of carries the day. So for as long as it's there, it's going to be a dangling carrot. And a lot of effort has been put by different people living around the dam site to try and have it decommissioned. But again, because Kenya has been controlled a lot by the politicians, it's been in futility. Involving the Nairobi University, that's a very good point. I guess it's something that we should put into account, and we'll make note of that. Yeah, so thanks.
And we're in a conversation with Catholic University of Eastern Africa in Nairobi about ways we might partner together in Dandora and beyond. Yeah. Actually, Dean Greg Crawford, the Dean of our College of Science, who was walking through the garbage dump there with Tony, he actually met with some members of the science faculty at Catholic University of Eastern Africa. And there are 3 faculty members from the science department at Catholic University who will be visiting Notre Dame. They'll arrive on Friday, and the College of Science will be helping to host them. So good things are happening there.
Yeah.
It's good. Other questions? Can't believe. No more questions?
Any students?
I can't believe it.
They were very thorough.
Yeah, one question back here.
Just a question that's been running through my head.
Just introduce yourself.
Oh,
briefly.
sorry.
That's
I'm
all right.
Sarah. I'm a sophomore. When you were talking about Dandora, and you mentioned, I think you mentioned at one point relocating it. Would that be the overall strategy?
Relocating the dump site?
Yeah, that just, I don't know how sustainable.
That's a good question.
Well, you know, relocating means you're postponing the problem, or you're removing that problem from that area and taking it to other people. So ideally, solid waste management systems, better solid waste management systems is a key. And when we are able to manage the solid waste better, where we separate the garbage, where some of the things that can be recycled, like you do it here in America, are then taken to relevant factories, would be really helpful. Because the question that was asked, are these people scavenging through the garbage? Yes, and after they scavenge through it, they take to different companies, different factories, and they're given peanuts, really. They're exploited by these factories to get a little bit of allowance and then go back there. So the money they're given just creates dependence on the dump, and they can never free themselves. So the sooner we have better solid waste management systems and laws that are effective, that would be the solution to the dump. Relocating is not the solution. Yeah.
There have been attempts to really kind of raise awareness of the dump site, and there have been attempt campaigns to sort of let's do something about this, and the Catholic Church has been a big part of those campaigns. There was a march, actually, like a protest and like a march through Dandora that I know some Holy Cross priests were participating in. The current pastor of Holy Cross Parish, Father Andrew Masawe, participated, and they were attacked by the people who were making their living off of the dump site, right? They ended up having to, I mean, the whole march ended in mayhem.
Yeah.
People kind of took cover because they were being attacked by the young people, namely young men, who make their living off of selling the scraps, right? So these are kind of the very people they would hope to help, right? But they didn't see it that way. These people didn't see this march to put an end to the dump site as something in their interest. Yes, Tom?
Could you see that as a violation in a certain way of the standard of work that is grassroots
Yeah.
and is asked for?
Yeah.
Or is it, on the other hand, a limiting condition, so that in fact it isn't always like that?
Right.
You don't always want to wait because there are issues.
Yeah, that's a great question.
How would you?
No, that's a great question. I think that it probably does indicate to some extent there should have been a bit more engagement, right, with those people who have an interest in the continuation of the dump site because they're making a living off of it. On the other hand, maybe they tried. I don't know, and they weren't getting anywhere. So I wouldn't want to pass judgment. I think it's just a great question, right? There's this importance. There's a real importance to the grassroots community engagement and to listening, and not getting too far ahead of any one community. But sometimes there are gross violations. It's like a no-brainer, so to speak. So how do you balance that? I think it's a great question. Yes.
I wanted to ask about...
If you'd introduce yourself.
Yes, sorry. My name is Esther, and I'm in the theology department, doing my master's in theology, and I worked at the Kellogg Institute. I'm wondering I can't say it very well, Uganda, how do you say it?
Nnindye?
Nnindye.
Yeah.
Are many Ugandan university students able to do internships like what Notre Dame students are doing? Or is that more difficult in their course of study?
I would say like this. I would respond that way to this question this way. We are very open, but why Uganda Martyrs University students and Nnindye and Notre Dame students do it much easier is because of our partnership with Notre Dame. When students come, we pair them. So in a way, there are some other elements we want our students to learn from the students over here, at the same time as they both learn to move along. The other people are going to come. That one I'm sure it will come, but as Juliet indicated, we spent more time into preparing the community for what is coming. Now we are at the stage of where some interventions are already starting to take place. So far, we've had 4 students, 2 from Makerere and 2 from the other public universities. We feel the moment there is some activity on the ground, the more we get more covered in the national press, more interest will come up and we know more and more people will come. If they don't come to us, which we are not it's not a problem, they will come through our partner because the Parish Development Committee, which we empowered to be in place, we don't limit them on whom they deal with. We are happy that more people can come and appreciate what's going on. So we know, you see, the more Nnindye, another good thing with it, is on the highway. So when something positive starts happening, both sides, whichever way you look, you will see something, and I know it will not be lost to students in these national universities. That's what I can say, but there's no limit. Thank you.
Well, I think that's all the time we have tonight. So I really want to thank you all for being here. I don't know if there are any announcements that I need to make before we thank our speakers. Other than the Student Human Development Conference will be taking place this weekend, beginning Friday afternoon. Hopefully all of you have registered. If you haven't, I think you can still register. And if you forget, still come. It's free, charge, but we do encourage people to register so that we have an idea of numbers. So that begins on Friday. I don't know if Greg, if you want to say anything, Kara, if you want to say anything about the conference coming up.
I think you covered it all. We have panels on Friday afternoon, starting at 3:30, and then a documentary at 7 o'clock. And then Saturday's pretty much full of panels and poster sessions and our keynote speaker at 6:30 at South Dining Hall.
That'll be a part of a dinner, right? Yeah, closing dinner. Great. Well, thank you all for being here tonight. Join me in thanking